Some of the things that I find most exciting are like the least exciting to most everybody else. I love this machine. We call this party ice because everybody loves this type of ice. We try to approach sustainability in a really holistic way. This is our dehydrator. We use it for a million things. I'm actually surprised it's empty right now. This is so dorky. My name is Claire Sprouse. I own Hunky Dory, which is a bar and restaurant here in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. I like to say that we're the weirdos in the neighborhood, maybe in the city. Our underlying value is to show ways that bars and restaurants can be more sustainable. So when I talk about water, everybody's like eyes kind of glaze over. It's my biggest passion. Being a good steward of water is like the most important and exciting thing that I do. Our water bill here is about $200 a month. If we were running like most restaurants that were doing the same kind of numbers we were doing without all these extra measures that we've taken, our water bill would probably be closer to $1,000 a month. I started in Texas and eventually made my way to San Francisco, and California is kind of always in a state of drought. Our drought was very extreme. It was so severe that they ended up telling bars and restaurants that we couldn't offer water to guests. That is such a simple, necessary step of service. That was kind of my aha moment. Once, you open that door, it's hard to close it and to kind of turn a blind eye to a lot of the things that we take for granted. Right now I'm batching the Smoky Mountain Songbird, which is our most popular cocktail. We batch a few different things to address like water waste and water usage. This is turmeric with a little bit of sugar and water. A mezcal that we carry, a newer like woman-owned brand, but we pretty picky about agave spirits, making sure that we're using ingredients that are best honoring, supporting the communities that we're sourcing from. Then we add a little bit of water, kind of balance notes that we were talking about. I have about 20 cocktails here. Right after the mandate came down from the state, I sat down with my business partner at the time and mapped where all the water went. Something like a margarita, you have to think first about how those ingredients got to you, especially with agave spirits. And Mexico is a very arid place. That's why agave grows so well there, and how much water goes into each bottle. Then how that product gets to me here in New York. From there, I think about we're building this drink. We're using these tools like a shaker and a tin that will eventually need to be washed, rinsed, so we can make the next drink. So take into account the way that we're building our cocktail in the first place. So this is the only ice machine that we have at Hunky. It's what we call a pebble or crushed ice machine. And it makes these very tiny cubes, about 90% water efficient compared to a machine that would make like a fancy ice cube that you would see at a regular cocktail bar. Those about anywhere from 40 to 70% of the water actually go straight down the drain. These machines are great because unlike the other cube machines that break all the time because they require so much energy and air and water going into them, these are like workhorses. It's almost impossible to break this machine. We built all of our cocktail recipes to withstand being on this smaller, meltier ice. I'm gonna say meltier a lot today. We could shake it on this ice and then just dump the contents into that glass without having to use another set of ice. We always say that ice is only two ingredients, it's water and electricity. So when you save on water, you're typically always saving on electricity. So all these things are really intertwined in a lot of ways. Electricity is more about habits. Even on our new pandemic patio, I actually ended up getting these solar-powered string lights. And when I purchased them, I was like, this isn't gonna work. I was like, these are $25, this isn't gonna work. And they work perfectly. Each strand comes with like its own little like solar panel, and we just clipped it to the top of the fence, and it's free light. And it's so amazing. I just spent like, 10 extra minutes going that extra step. So it's a little crazy back here. We are turning our dining room into a retail space in light of restrictions with the pandemic that we take very seriously. We ripped out the booths and we built these shelves. Kind of a fun opportunity for us to highlight some ingredients that we are excited about, like some grains, beans, corn products from this woman-owned indigenous farm in Arizona. This is a woman working with small chocolate producers in Haiti. Toilet paper made not from trees, but from plant fibers. Mouthwash and toothpaste tablets that are refillable, so it eliminates plastic. Plates and things made from bamboo straws, which are reusable. I heard from a chef once that food waste is just lost flavors and lost opportunities to learn. It's not just about making inferior products just to empty the trash bin. It's about how can we create new flavors and new experiences and these like more magical moments for our guests. This is our dehydrator. So sometimes we don't get through all of our mint in time. Mother Nature is on its own timeline. So all of this can go into the dehydrator. We use our dehydrator so much. If you're trying to really tackle food waste, it's the best tool to buy. Addressing food waste drives a lot of the dishes on our menus. If we're juicing carrots for a cocktail, that pulp from the carrots are still full of flavor, and we might give those to the kitchen, and that might go into the carrot oatmeal, which wasn't a dish until we just had this pulp, and we're like, okay, what can we collectively do? How can we collaborate between these two departments to utilize this byproduct? When you're using food waste, those are all free things that you're turning into profit at that point. It kind of goes back to how does this affect your bottom line? How does it positively impact not just our planet, but also your business? It's a real missed opportunity on multiple levels. Hunky Dory evoked lightness and made you smile a little bit. I think that is a common thread along with sustainability amongst like the food and beverages that we create and the environment we create. A lot of people think of sustainability or climate change as this really dense issue that is only reserved for certain classes or certain types of establishments, but I truly believe that anybody can identify as a sustainable person or a sustainable business. It is accessible and obtainable. And yeah, I mean, restaurants and bars are a nickel and dime business on both sides, right? Like every small little upcharge and every coffee that we get at the end of a meal or every second round of drinks, like all those things add up. But it's also a nickel and dime business on the other side, like every drop of water, every bit of electricity, like those really affect our bottom lines, especially when we run on such small margins. It's not just about being good stewards of the planet, it's good business. When I talk about like the not sexy stuff like water or electricity, those are real tangible ways that we can like save on our bottom line and why these initiatives really make a big difference for small businesses and the people that work for them. If we're thinking about like our mission statement here, we're just trying to be better.
Well, is there a story behind the name?
Hunky Dory. I named Hunky Dory. A lot of people think Hunky Dory is named after a Bowie album, and maybe that was part of the inspiration. This is my second favorite Bowie album.